Meditation on approval seeking. I recognize that seeking approval from others is a very unstable strategy for my happiness. It may feel good when people shower appreciation on me, because as they are being appreciative, they are connected to Source. However, it is out of my control how connected to Source they may be, and people never focus on things other than themselves for very long. The only control I have is in my own connection to Source. In maintaining my connection, I induce long-term well-being. It may very well happen that by being connected to Source, I attract people and gain approval. But the more connected to Source I become, the less important that approval is to me, because I no longer perceive it as being necessary for my long-term well-being. I recognize that I simply cannot get approval from others when I'm coming from a place of needing it or of being aware of the lack of it. So I simply maintain my connection to Source energy and naturally radiate it and naturally attract others with it. But I recognize that any approval I may gain from others is a byproduct of my connection to Source, and that connection is my primary focus. As a result of that maintained connection, I never need or crave approval from others. When I think I need your approval, I realize that statement is not true. I can never know if I have someone else's approval or not. Even if someone tells me that he or she approves of me, I notice that I can still perform all my basic life tasks with or without that approval. There are lots of reasons why your approval may not be the best thing. Perhaps my path is meant to be lived and walked without your approval right now. Maybe it's not the best thing for your path that you approve of me now. I can't absolutely know that it's true that I need approval from anyone in this world. And it is a very powerful thing not to have people's approval, because it takes me back to myself. Often, when people don't approve of me, I have perhaps said or done something that I don't approve of either. And I am always grateful when people wake me up to a time when I have been living out of a sense of unkindness. When I believe the thought, I need your approval, I may compliment you when I don't mean it. I may exaggerate about my life so you'll find me attractive or interesting. I may say what I think you want to hear and pretend to agree with you. I may begin to lie, in fact. I might pretend to be interested when maybe my mind is 1,000 miles away. I may smile as though I'm very connected to you, or do whatever it takes to manipulate your approval. Whatever facade it takes, I turn into that facade. If I begin to sense that if I don't have your approval, the facade escalates, or I feel very let down, like I'm losing something that's within my grasp, or even feel like a fool, then my self-esteem lowers, and I try to compensate for that in ways that become more stressful. I then feel that stress in my body. As I envision myself standing in the presence of you without the thought of needing your approval, I realize that I become a listener, a student, open, learning, growing, approving of myself, approving of you, doing my work, and very, very grateful. Turned around, the thought becomes, I need my approval. The person I approve of is me. If I am unable to approve of myself completely in this moment, then at least I approve of the possibility of me. I experience my potential, and because I do, I have a model that I can now live out. Turned around another way, the thought is, I don't need your approval. I can easily find examples of why this statement is as true or truer than its opposite. One example is that I am free because I don't have to change your mind. I am free from interrupting or manipulating you in any way. In addition, you're free, and I love to watch your freedom to say anything that comes to you without my interjections. It is so much kinder that I don't have to manipulate, and all my stress drops away. I now experience real freedom and peace. I don't need your approval because I'm not seeking it. I remain as a student. I have found my own approval, and that is really all I have been looking for. I recognize that the approval trap is nothing more than obsessive thinking. Anytime I engage
in excessive planning, problem solving, or anticipation. I recognize that the trap is the desire for more approval, and that the thinking itself is the trap, and no amount of approval can break you free from the cycle. Freedom does not depend on external conditions, and freedom is not the absence of unwanted thoughts either. So trying to get rid of them is only part of the compulsion. True freedom allows for any set of conditions and any thoughts. True freedom can only come when one's attention is no longer on what to get or what to protect or what to achieve, and instead is focused on what is prior to all of those things. Freedom does not mean I don't try to improve circumstances. It simply means I am in an all-inclusive state in which I recognize my own power, and I will easily attract a new set of circumstances because I am already secure within myself. Thought, which actually comes just after action, is an endless and useless loop. And when I get stuck in it, I turn my attention to the source of it all, not the thought itself. When I notice I am thinking compulsively, as in something that has already happened, or what I might be able to do about external situations, or what others think and feel, I simply shift my attention to the physical sensations in my body with unjudging curiosity. It is extraordinarily powerful for me to simply feel the physical sensations and observe them objectively. I have no need to label these experiences with thought. I can use such questions as, where is the sensation? Is there a physical boundary to it? Is there a boundary between me and the sensation? Where does it come from, and where does it return to? I make no attempts to change any portion of the experience. I simply observe. It is effortless for me to observe. Any effort is an indication that there is thought, which is completely unnecessary. Thoughts may happen, and I give them no resistance. I also give them no credence. I have no reason to engage in fear or any kind of negative thinking whatsoever. I simply observe. I observe playfully, effortlessly, and with curiosity. I do not have to work my way toward love or approval. I recognize that the quest for love and approval is a never-ending cycle that either leaves me feeling like I don't have any love or approval, no matter how hard I work, or I feel it temporarily, which only creates a bigger desire afterwards. No matter how successful I am, the mind will always find a way to compare me with someone else. But in spiritual terms, no such measurement is required. Our purpose is to please God, not other people. This means that I am in tune with my own divine nature, which has no need of external approval. Any void I may feel is simply a calling to get to know my own divine nature more deeply. This is freeing because I don't have to take on things just to get the approval of others. I am a co-creator, and I am the creator of my destiny, which God actively wants me to fulfill. Because my truest destiny is that which is aligned with the divine will. The search for approval always leads to thoughts of not being good enough, which may even lead to more extreme action to prove those voices and those sources erroneous. Regardless of whether these attempts are successful, they distract me from embracing my divine nature, which already has 1,000% approval embedded in it. Only through God can we love our neighbors fearlessly. I can do everything through God who gives me strength. Philippians 4-13. I recognize that looking in the mirror for signs of external success, like bank account, number of likes on social media, etc., is not the true reality. I recognize that sometimes success can be an even bigger distraction from our divine nature as the struggle for approval. It's normal to give and receive love to others. It's only when we make that into an idol that eclipses our knowing our divine nature. I recognize that our culture has conditioned me to keep score in a certain way. My simply recognizing this diminishes its hold over me. The notion that I am pre-approved by God is not a theological concept. It's a living, breathing feeling that goes beyond thought into the realm of knowing that I am not only loved by God, but I am liked by God. God is my friend. I love being intimate with God in this way. There is nothing I have to do to reclaim or reaffirm this love. It's simply a question of remembering. Everything I have ever longed for is already mine. I fully recognize that my preconditioned quest for external approval will continue to pull me. And I also rejoice that God will continue her work on me. And I am eternally grateful for the process of getting to know God better in this lifetime. The closer I get to feeling God's presence in my life, the more I become truly humble and unconcerned with external approval. I have nothing to prove to anyone. I am God's beloved. When I am faced with a challenge, I am simply grateful for the opportunity to experience it. I take pleasure in trying new things, and I feel no burden to perform with perfection. I simply do my best and leave the results to God. I perform with playfulness simply because I am unattached to the results. Because I feel no need to compare myself with others, I celebrate their successes. I genuinely applaud and am happy for things they do and things they achieve. I love from my approval. Because I am not seeking approval, I can now truly love my friends, family, and neighbors. I love everyone without judgment, and I delight in being in God's presence